Game 4, Timberwolves, Warriors, wrapping up just a short time ago. Let's get into it. Steph's still out. He'll be reevaluated on Wednesday. And Ant's doing a little heat check pregame, and then, he drops a night-night. I don't think Steph does that pregame, but whatever. And then Edwards just inside the logo at the end of the first half. I mean, that's out there in Marin County. Long three. That's the way you go into the locker room. Timberwolves still down 2 at halftime, but in the third quarter, they continued that momentum, and it was all Ant. Goes to the left there, swerving through the D. A few possessions later, putting it on the floor again, and that's an even tougher creation with the left. Makes the foul shot, puts the Timberwolves up by 3. Then Ant pull up, triple, got it. Timberwolves on a 12-zip run. A couple possessions later, the steal, Julius Randle bringing it down. Dante DiVincenzo, who has not been shooting well in this series, gets one there. It's a 15-zip run. Then Edwards, mid-range, probably should get a man on him. A 17-0 run, their longest of the postseason. Ant had 30 points. Timberwolves won the third quarter by 22. There's Randle doing chin-ups. It's an 18-point lead. Fourth quarter, Jaden McDaniels getting to the rack. I said Ant had 30. Randle had 31. Started off huge and finishes with that number. And the Timberwolves hold on to win this one 117-110 to go up 3-1 in the series. New on SportsCenter, here's Steve Kerr.
Where did you see the main issues defensively tonight?
Well, they went 16 for 34 from 3. It felt like there were some in the third quarter where we got disconnected defensively, and they got wide open looks. I also thought they hit some really tough shots as well. They played a great game and obviously took it to us, and we've got to bounce back. We got a flight to Minneapolis tomorrow and a chance to extend the series, and that's the plan.
Steve, hypothetical, but if Steph on game day said, I feel I can go, I want to give it a try, would he go then, or there's a possibility he would be overruled?
When are we giving the update? Wednesday we'll have an update.
Steve, after taking 26 shots in Game 3, Jimmy only has 9 tonight. What were you seeing from him, what the Wolves are doing defensively, and just how he was playing overall?
Well, he wasn't as aggressive tonight, but I didn't see a lot of openings either. It's ideally we could put more shooting around him to open up the floor a little bit. But with Steph out, we're not going to be able to do as much of that. But with that said, we'll look at the tape and see where we can find some openings for him. And I know he'll be aggressive for Game 5.
Steven, another tough shooting.
All right, that's Steve Kerr, new on SportsCenter. Let's hear from Draymond Green.
Game 5.
Before I start, I want to apologize to y'all. I didn't talk the other day. I was quite a bit frustrated and very careful of. Didn't want to get myself fined, but more so say something and make it sound like an excuse when you struggle and lose. And I didn't come up here and talk, and I felt like a coward when I got home, so I wanted to apologize to y'all for that. As far as 3, we just got to win a game. Win one game, take it from there. I think that's our mindset. Do all that we can, figure out a way to win one. You win one, everything changes. So that'll be our mindset going into Game 5.
Draymond, players like Ant are going to get theirs at some point in the game, but do you think that tonight was more a lack of a defensive effort on you guys or just some star power that they had?
They hit shots. They shot the ball extremely well. I thought we defended good in spurts, but they got going and we never was able to put out the fire. So got to give them a lot of credit. Kind of felt like they were due for a great shooting night. Sucks that it had to be tonight, but it was, and we just got to figure it out and coming back in Game 5.
You guys were closing the half really well, and then
All right, it all turned in that fateful third quarter for the Warriors, who led at the half and then just got blitzed by the Wolves in the third, outscored 39-17. Timberwolves forced 6 turnovers in the final 8 minutes of the quarter with the game tied. Minnesota went on a 29-9 run.
Anthony Edwards joining us now. Hey, congratulations on this win. The third quarter was obviously a massive turning point, not just for you, but for the team. What was the message at halftime that helped propel what you guys did in the second half?
We just didn't look like we came out like we had won the game already, like we had won a series already. And when we came in at halftime, Coach told us, like, man, we playing like some losers. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got a loser mentality right now. And we wasn't being aggressive on defense. We wasn't being aggressive on offense. We was just playing so loose. We wasn't attacking the ball or attacking the basket. So we just had to pick it up.
Like, you internally, you're a competitive guy. When the coach says you're playing like a loser, what does that do to your competitive spirit?
It lifted it. He told me I wasn't defending at a high level. I needed to be better offensively, create for my teammates, create for myself, and be more aggressive. So I came out and tried to do that.
You also came out in this game, and we saw you practicing the night-night very early on. Then you went out and hit the 6 threes in this game, including the buzzer beater at the end of the first half. What was your strategy when it came to the threes tonight?
I mean, it's the same every night, man. Let it fly. I work on it, man. Like I told Steph, I was working with him all summer, man. So big shout out, big credit to him, man. You know, so he influenced me to be able to shoot the ball really well. So I went back in the summer and started working on it once I left him, and I got better at it. So just let it fly.
See, you hang around with him and you just get better at things. What do you want to say about Julius Randle? 31 points from him tonight. Probably playing some of the best basketball of his career. What's he doing for this team?
Man, man, listen, I can't describe. I'm lost for words, man. He was, I think in the first quarter, what he had like 19?
I think so.
Yeah,
finished with 31.
He was incredible, man. He was making shots that's like I'm not used to seeing people make on a daily basis. So I told him, I was like, he cold, you know. So it's a famous line we got in Atlanta. He cold. He know it.
All right, so look, Game 5, you get to go home to a place that is historically cold, but like in a different definition. You get to go home. You get to try to close out this series.
Nephew? What's up, my boy? You said what?
You get to go home now. You get to try to close out this series in 5. How do you do it? How do you make it happen?
We just got to be aggressive. We can't take no plays off. We know they're going to come out. Like I said, this is a championship DNA team. They battle-tested, man. We know they're going to come out and be ready to play, man. So we got to be ready to go.
You know, I think the last time we had you on SportsCenter, I think you were fined by the NBA for almost swearing. So congratulations. We made it through. No fines this time.
Hey,
Let's go.
I made it through.
All right, we'll talk to you Wednesday.
All right.
Game 4 between these two teams. The Knicks lead 2-1. There is Jason Tatum. 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Celtics down 1. Tatum going to find himself some Derek White, who was prolific from 3 in this game. That made it a 2-point Celtics lead. Then Tatum pulling up over Karl Anthony Towns. He's going to hit his own 3. He was also very good in this game before he went out. Celtics still up by 2. Tatum over Jalen Brunson, another 3. The Celtics were up 33-28, and then another 3. Tatum and White, by the way, they scored 29 points in the first quarter. The Knicks as a team, all of them scored 28. Celtics led 39-28 after the first quarter, but as you know in this series, particularly for the Celtics, double-digit lead ain't safe, particularly when Jalen Brunson goes out in the second half and does this. Off the miss, grabs it, Knicks down 83-78. Then Brunson hitting the fadeaway jumper over White. Knicks down only 2. How about a tie? Boom. Knicks 83, Celtics 83. 38 seconds left. Knicks down 2. Watch Brunson. Drives. Gets how many Celtics defenders? A couple. OG Anunoby is left open in the corner, so he knocks it down. Celtics scored 23 points in the third. Brunson scored or assisted. And 25. Knicks led by 3 after 3 in the fourth. Tatum. That made it 99-98, Celtics out front. Next, Knicks possession, an immediate answer from Nicole Bridges. Knicks back up 1, then Celtics down 3. Tatum stops, pivots, called bank, and the foul. Not bad. Check out the history. Most 40-point games in Celtics playoff history. He's at 5 and quite the ties. Celtics at 102 after the free throw. Kristaps Porzingis The victim there of OG Anunoby knelt the Knicks back up 3. Then Brunson crossing over Al Horford. Knicks up 5. Bridges making it 111-104. And then this happened. Out of the timeout, the next Celtics possession, Jason Tatum tosses it to Jaylen Brown. OG Anunoby steals it, and then that is the moment right there. Tatum holding the lower right leg. Seems to make the normal move. No contact. Obviously something is tweaked. He's going to have that MRI. Tatum, 42 points. Celtics down after that, 113-104. The wheelchair, the emotions, and then, the air completely out of the Celtics. Brunson stepped back 3 over Brown. Brunson had 39 points, 12 assists, and a big Knicks win, 121-113.
I think it was a sense of urgency, desperation, just knowing that we have a great opportunity and we're playing a really good team. There's always time to learn for us, and so we got to make sure that we're never satisfied and just having that student mentality.
What did you make of Brunson's performance and how he was able to take over that game?
Honestly, do we all expect anything less? I expect nothing less from Cap. It gets to the fourth quarter, he's a bad man when it comes to the fourth quarter and clutch points. So I know we've said it before, but you get in those moments, we all trust our talent. We know we all do, but man, it's special when you get to watch him doing that in the fourth quarter. So shout out to him.
Well, that's a trifecta for the Knicks because they have had double-digit comebacks in this series against the Celtics now 3 times. In fact, all of their wins have been comebacks of at least 14 or more. Only one other team has done that since 1998. That was the Warriors in 2019. Also, that came against the Trailblazers. Now the Celtics are down 3-1, and they are probably without Jason Tatum. Here's Joe Mazzulla.
Tonight, we just didn't play well defensively, and we're in a hole, and we got to get back to Boston, and we got to figure out a way to win.
Get ready to fight. Get ready to come out on our home floor and do what we need to do. That's the goal. It's still the goal. We got enough in this locker room, so I believe in my guys. It was terrible defensively tonight. To be frank, just no resistance. We was just too concerned. Offense was great. Offense was fine. We made a lot of shots, but just no resistance on defense.
We've got Brian Windhorst joining us now to talk about this. The Wolves are an interesting team here, Brian, because midway through the season, they're kind of sideways and somewhat of a disappointment, and now they're catching fire here in the springtime. What have you seen out of them these last 3 games that makes you think this is a legit contender here?
Well, I've been very impressed by their all-business attitude on the 2 games in Golden State. Last year they got up 2-0 in their series against the Nuggets. They went back home, dropped those 2 games, and they had a very impressive win in Game 7 on the road in Denver. By the time they got to the conference finals, which was a huge moment for their franchise, they were exhausted, David. And I think they saw an opportunity here to come out to Golden State without Steph Curry, play some good games, and really take a stranglehold on the series and give themselves a chance going forward. That is exactly what they did. I thought all business, especially in the second half here. Ant Edwards saw an opportunity, really attacked, was able to create separation. Julius Randle got it done in the first half, and the 2 of them working together are really defining this last section of the season for the Wolves. They finished extremely strong, 18-3, and they've carried that over into the playoffs, and they are not their 6th seed. They were a different team by the time they got to the playoffs. I think we have now seen that in this series as well.
Yeah. Okay, so they're up 3-1, looking to close out in Game 5 coming up on Wednesday. The Knicks are in the same spot after a really impressive performance. Of course, that's sort of overshadowed a little bit, Brian, by the terrible injury to Jason Tatum, one of the best players in the game. With that injury included in the question, what do you think of the series moving forward at this point?
Yeah, I want to say 2 things about this game. One, the Knicks were brilliant in the second half of this game. They did a great job staying attached in the first half. Jalen Brunson was awesome in the third quarter, and he got teammates to support him. They were going to win this game either way without the Tatum injury, and they were going to be ahead rightfully 3-1. Now you look going forward, the Tatum injury has completely gutted the Celtics, even though they don't have a definitive diagnosis until tomorrow. He is almost certainly going to miss time, potentially a lot of time. I will say this, though. The Celtics were 8-2 when Tatum didn't play this year. They are a very good road team. They are excellent. this series is not over, and the Knicks understand that, and so do the Celtics.
Very interesting. We'll see how it all plays out. The champs against the ropes right now. We'll see what happens in Game 5. Brian giving us his thoughts on tonight's NBA action.